What's going on, boxing fans? This is Kenneth, SBN Boxing. You visit the web at www.sbnboxing.com. Let's speak boxing. Just talking about boxing all in all. Let's speak about Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia had a hell of a night 2 nights ago. He took on Lucas Matthysse. Lucas Matthysse was a fighter that everyone had on a pedestal. You know, everyone said he was going to rule boxing. He was going to, after he knocked out Lamont Peterson, they went ahead and said that Lucas Matthysse should fight Mayweather. Lucas Matthysse will completely annihilate Mayweather. You've seen what he did to Lamont Peterson. That didn't happen. Danny Garcia stepped up, did his thing. But the crazy thing about it is Danny Garcia, you went from a C fighter to a B- fighter just after the fact that you beat Lucas Matthysse. You're a good fighter. You're getting better every single fight. The feet work's looking good. You were considered a flat-footed fighter. I didn't see too much of that whatsoever. But he's still considered a B- fighter. Actually, I moved him up to B-, so he's not even an A caliber right now. The reason I'm saying this because you got guys hyping up another fighter, hyping up Danny Garcia, hyping up Danny Garcia, hyping up Danny Garcia. He's good, but he's not a caliber A-listed fighter like Floyd Mayweather Jr. Because a lot of people, I seen Ali Setback, he interviewed Angel Garcia and said, you know what, Angel, is your boy ready for Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Step into the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. And you know what, Angel was just like, yeah, if that fight happens, let's go ahead and do it. I think he's a little too premature for that. Was the Canelo fight a little bit too premature? Yes and no. Canelo, I think it was a good move for Canelo to take Mayweather. Why? Because I think they're evenly matched. He's young and stuff like that, but you got to understand, as far as business standpoint, it's all or nothing. It was all or nothing. It would have been nice to go ahead and take that fight the following year, but I think it was a good opportunity. He came off victorious. Mayweather beat Cotto. Austin Trout beat Cotto. He beat Austin Trout. Cotto gave Mayweather some problems, and it was a perfect opportunity as far as marketing for everyone to sit there and say, thinking that Canelo has a chance, which he does have a chance and stuff like that, but it was a perfect time for all or nothing for Canelo to step into the ring and dethrone the king of boxing, the pound-for-pound king of boxing. So I think it was a good move. It was all or nothing, because if Canelo would have won that fight, he would have been on top of the world. I predicted Mayweather was going to win that fight, but did Mayweather completely dominate Canelo Alvarez? You know what? I'm a Mayweather fan. Mayweather just boxed. That's what he did. Out of all the fights that I've seen him do, besides the Delahoya fight, Mayweather respected Canelo's power. I noticed that the Robert Guerrero, he started opening up a little bit more in the Robert Guerrero fight and started going for the knockout for the Robert Guerrero. But he can say, his wrists and all that other stuff. I noticed for the Victor Ortiz, he really didn't respect Victor Ortiz's power a little bit, because he was just sitting there just unloading on Victor Ortiz. So that was cool. Ricky Hatton, he really didn't respect. Early in the fight, he respected him a little bit. Zab Judah, he respected his speed a little bit, but he started opening up a lot more and trying to go for a knockout. Hatton, he tried to go for a knockout. Sugar Shane Mosley, besides the second or third round, he opened up, got a little bit more comfortable. But the whole entire fight against Canelo Alvarez, he respected his power. He stayed away from him. He stayed away from him. He definitely didn't even, in the last final rounds, he did it against Delahoya, he did it against Sugar Shane Mosley, he did it against everybody. The last final rounds, he last 10 seconds, he'll exchange punches just to give the last hurrah. But he didn't want to do that against Canelo Alvarez. He respected him way too much for that. So that was it a dominating performance? Yeah, but Mayweather didn't. He did enough to win by points. But that fight, even Mayweather said it himself, he just was the better fighter that night. That Canelo, hands down, has the speed. But as far as the game plan and stuff like that, I think he got fucked up in the head. And a lot of people just gassed him up a little bit too much, rather than saying, you know what, you need to. And I know a lot of people don't understand when I sit there and say this. You gotta let your hands go. Obviously, you're not gonna go ahead and just go, just full blown go after Mayweather and go crazy and stuff like that. What I mean by let your hands go, you got to be the more active fighter. Obviously, when Canelo lets his hands go, he's not wild with it whatsoever. But he had to be the aggressor in order to beat Mayweather. He had to be the aggressor in order to beat Mayweather, and that's what I mean by letting your hands go. Just being the aggressor as a whole. Always putting that constant pressure against Mayweather, just like Delahoya did, just like Miguel Cotto did. And that's the only way you're going to break the defense. Now, the Manny Pacquiao fight, that's going to be a good fight against Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. because Manny Pacquiao throws 1,000 fucking punches, and he's going to let his hands go. And he's quick, he's in and out, and that's going to give Floyd Mayweather Jr. some problems. Yes, Floyd Mayweather Jr., I predict that he's going to outbox Pacquiao, but it's not going to be easy for him. And usually when you press a fighter like that, and Manny Pacquiao has power in both hands, and he's going to throw a gazillion punches, that could pose a threat, because one punch can end the night. Same thing with Amir Kahn. I know a lot of people are sitting there saying, you know what, Kenny, you don't know shit about boxing. Look, I can sit there and pick and choose the fighters all day. You know, Mayweather's the best, pound for pound. I could jump on the bandwagon on that, and I agree with it. If you watch all my boxing videos, you know this is the first. We actually cracked the year not too long ago, a couple days ago, as far as doing this on YouTube. Every single YouTube video, I'm a Mayweather fan. I always argue with the boxing genius. I'm all about Mayweather, but you know what? I'm a fan of boxing. I'm a fan of boxing, and I'm gonna agree that Manny Pacquiao is gonna pose a threat against. He's gonna give Mayweather some problems, and then also the person that's gonna give Mayweather some problem. His name is Amir Kahn. Yes, Amir Kahn got knocked out. Yes, Amir Kahn, you can say he doesn't have a chin or whatever, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about styles make fights. This Zab Judah gave Mayweather some problems. Why? Because hand speed. Amir Kahn has I think Amir Kahn has one of the quickest hands in the game of boxing. But here goes Chino Sanchez. He's pulling up. We're about to go to work. But I think Amir Kahn is going to definitely, there goes Chino right there, definitely would give Mayweather some problems. But anyways, let's talk about Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia needs to, Angel, if you're watching this, Danny, if you're watching this, you know who I want you to fight. You gave Eric Morales a second chance. You need to get in the ring. Forget about Floyd Mayweather Jr. Get in the ring with Adrien Broner or give Amir Kahn back his rematch. That's it. Because, you know, Danny Garcia, you're a hell of a fighter. Don't get me wrong. You did knock out Amir Kahn. But that knockout was just any fighter gets hit to the neck, like Pacquiao hit Ricky the Hit Manhattan to the neck, you're going to go down. So, but before that punch, you're getting your ass whooped. You're getting completely dominated by Amir Kahn. He was too quick. He was just completely outboxing you. And just one punch. Set it off. Does that mean Amir Khan's a bum? No. That means that you caught him with a shot. Just like what happened when Lennox Lewis got knocked out. And Lennox Lewis got that rematch. Lennox Lewis came back and just completely fucking annihilated. What happened when Roy Jones got his first knockout? What happened with that?
He lost.
Obviously he lost. But anyways, it's a little too early for this, but Amir Kahn, it's going to be completely different. So I would like to see that for Danny. Danny gave Amir Kahn a rematch. Danny, go ahead and take on Adrien Broner. That'll definitely be a good fight. Not Mayweather. I would, instead of Danny fighting Mayweather, he should take on Adrien Broner. I think them styles, I know they're boys and shit like that, but come on, man. Business is business. Adrien Broner it's supposedly the new Mayweather. But the thing about it is, Danny Garcia versus Mayweather, I see Mayweather annihilating Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia versus Adrien Broner, that'll be a good fight. Why? Because Adrien Broner hasn't mastered his craft as far as defensive. Like that shoulder roll. His shoulder roll is pretty weak. It's not as effective as Mayweather. But anyway, guys, this is Kenneth SBN Boxing. Visit us on the web at www.sbnboxing.com. Subscribe. This guy's still sleeping. He's still drunk from the other night.
All right.
Who does that? This man right here. After the fight, Mayweather fight, he was still drinking, bro.
I was pretty drunk.
It's like 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. You're still drinking. Anyways,
After what fight?
the Mayweather fight.
And who won?
Mayweather.
That's it. That's all that had to be said.
What do you say about them people that were just giving you death threats and
Look at the choices that I made as far as what fighter and how he was gonna win, and look how he won. Enough said.
So you think Danny Garcia should fight Mayweather?
No, he's not ready for Mayweather.
But he beat Matthysse.
So, he's not ready for him.
Who do you think's gonna win? Timothy Bradley or Juan Marquez?
Bradley.
Bradley?
I'm picking Bradley. No.
I think that fight right there, Timothy Bradley. If Timothy Bradley wins, I think it's not going to be signed up for Mayweather's not going to fight him in May because it's just not going to happen. The times ain't right. But I would think Bradley would take on Mayweather if he wins. Marquez beats Bradley. I don't think Marquez is going to get another rematch. If Pacquiao, I think if Timothy Bradley beats Marquez, Mayweather's going to fight him. If Amir Kahn takes on Devin Alexander or whoever, he's gonna fight either Amir Kahn or Devin Alexander.
Who is?
Mayweather. If Manny Pacquiao, I think Manny Pacquiao is gonna be the last fight. Manny Pacquiao needs to beat Brandon Rios. That's it right there.
And once he beats Pacquiao for his last fight, what are we gonna hear? He waited to the end.
But fucking Mayweather's older than Pacquiao. I don't even understand. Some people don't. This don't even make no fucking sense. They're Mayweather haters. Yeah. Period. They're gonna sit there and say, you know what? Oh, he should have fought Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao was in prime. I got a question for you. Did Manny Pacquiao go to jail?
No.
Didn't go to jail. Who was the more active fighter, Manny Pacquiao or Mayweather? So you would think that Mayweather going to jail, fighting once every fucking 14 months, is at a disadvantage. But when he steps in the ring, he completely fucking annihilates. So how the hell, who's at a disadvantage? Pacquiao didn't go to jail.
The only thing he's been
Pacquiao didn't have his girl getting beat up by and getting smashed by 50 Cent while he's locked up.
Yeah.
He didn't go through that mental stage.
Miss Jackson.
How stressful would that be, knowing that Miss Jackson is chilling with 50 and you locked up?
They're supposed to be boys.
But anyways, I think Mayweather's gonna fight Timothy Bradley. I think Mayweather's gonna fight Amir Kahn. I think Mayweather's gonna fight Pacquiao last, and he might give a guy like Danny Garcia a shot. He might give, or he might.
Danny Garcia's next fight is like a definite, like hands down, straight great fight. I don't think he's gonna do it.
You know what I think he should do? He should do like Rocky. He should give America a chance. America, the no-name fighter. Like he was Apollo Creed. Mm-hmm. Give an Italian stallion. That's a no-name fighter.
So you think he should give Danny Garcia a fight?
No, I think he should give like fucking Hector Macho Camacho's son the opportunity.
He's fighting here soon on
or no, he should give, Canelo's brother. That's not fighting anymore. Some strange motherfucker,
No, but he's
give Paulie Malignaggi a chance. See what happens, Mayweather. Paulie Malignaggi will whoop your ass. No. Imagine that shit. But anyways, this is Kenneth. That's me unboxing. Friend request, subscribe.
Tell the close on.
Have a good one.